In 1590, a man sailed back to America to reunite with his family. When he arrived, they were gone. Not just his family, the entire town. 117 people vanished. No bodies, no blood, no signs of a fight, just nothing. And the strangest part? Nobody really investigated it. This is the story of Roanoke, America's first mystery, and one that's never been solved. It's 1587. England wants a foothold in the New World. They send 117 men, women, and children to a small island off the coast of what is now North Carolina, Roanoke Island. The plan was simple: build a colony, start a new life, become England's first permanent settlement in America. Leading the group was a man named John White, a painter, an explorer, and soon to be a father-in-law, because just weeks after arriving, his daughter gave birth to the first English child born on American soil. They named her Virginia Dare. Things seemed promising, but the colony was already running low on supplies. So John White made a decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He sailed back to England to get more resources, promising to return within a few months. He left behind his daughter, his newborn granddaughter, and 115 other people counting on him. Here's where things start to go wrong. John White arrived in England and got stuck there. England was at war with Spain. Every ship available was being used to fight the Spanish Armada. Nobody was sailing to America. Nobody had time. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. John White finally managed to get back on a ship in 1590, 3 years after he left. 3 years of his family waiting on that island with limited food, limited protection, surrounded by unknown land. When his ship arrived at Roanoke, he expected to see smoke from fires, hear voices, see people rushing to the shore. Instead, silence. John White and his crew came ashore. The settlement was abandoned. The buildings were still standing, but everything inside had been carefully packed up and removed. No furniture, no tools, no personal belongings. This wasn't a panic. This was planned. Whoever left, they had time to prepare. Then White noticed something carved into a wooden post at the entrance of the settlement. One word: Croatoan. And on a nearby tree, just 3 letters, C-R-O. That was it. That was the only message left behind by 117 people. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island about 50 miles south, home to a Native American tribe called the Croatoan people, led by a man named Monteo, who had actually become friendly with the colonists. White thought, okay, they moved. They went to Croatoan Island. That makes sense. But before he could sail there to find them, a storm rolled in. His ship was damaged, his crew refused to wait, and just like that, John White was forced to sail back to England. He never returned to America. He never found out what happened to his daughter or his granddaughter, Virginia Dare. He died without answers. So what actually happened to the 117 people of Roanoke? Nobody knows for certain, but here are the theories. Theory 1, they assimilated with the Native Americans. This is actually the most supported theory today. Archaeologists have found English tools, ironworking equipment, and artifacts buried in Native American settlements on nearby islands. The Croatoan people may have taken the colonists in, and over generations they blended together. Some Native American tribes in the region even claim to have ancestors with gray eyes, unusual for indigenous people at the time. Theory 2, they were killed. Relations with some local tribes were not friendly. A previous English expedition had made enemies. It's possible a rival tribe attacked the colony while John White was gone. But if that's true, where are the bodies? Where is the evidence of a fight? Theory 3, they tried to sail home themselves and were lost at sea. The colonists had a small boat. It's possible they tried to make the journey back to England and simply didn't survive the crossing. Theory 4, and this one is darker. Some historians believe the Spanish, who were actively trying to stop English settlements in America, may have found the colony and wiped it out, quietly, without leaving a trace. The Spanish had the motive, and they had the capability. But again, no proof. Here's what gets me about this story. 117 people disappeared, and the response was nothing. England didn't launch a search. Nobody went back to look. John White tried for years to get a ship and was turned away every time. These were real people, A whole community, babies, children, families, and they were just left. The word Croatoan was carved into that post, a clear message, and nobody ever sailed the 50 miles to check. What if they were there, waiting, for months, years, watching the horizon for a ship that never came? We'll never know, because 440 years later, the Lost Colony of Roanoke is still unsolved. Still one of the greatest mysteries in American history, and somewhere on an island off the coast of North Carolina, the answer might still be buried in the ground. If this made you think, subscribe to Null Shift.